Alright boys, who is it? It's a link monster. There's a few link monsters it could be. Cerberus? Stop typing Cerberus. It is not Cerberus. It is not. There is no way they would give me the prismatic of a card I already own and a card that is literally like played once in a blue moon in this game. It's gonna be one of the twins. Oh, come on! I don't know! Fuck you. No, you guys just don't understand how hyped I'm. Wait, what is this? Okay. There's a few prismatics we could get here. Please tell me I've already pulled the Cerberus. Please tell me. Please tell me there isn't a Cerberus still in here. Nah, there's no way. There's actually no way. It's too low of a chance. Build side test. So after what was a very interesting pack opening, I've now got access to the brand new supporting cards for Blue Eyes, meaning we can update that deck list I uploaded only a couple of days ago, and obviously this video, it really doesn't need much introduction. I'm just going to show you how to completely arse blast your opponents using a giant dragon. So here's today's deck list. Now just a reminder before we get to the deck list, if you guys are enjoying today's video and want to see more content just like this in the future, especially if you're a returning viewer, so apparently about 35% of people watching this are even subscribed to the channel, meaning 65% of you haven't even subscribed yet. So if you guys are enjoying this kind of content, we'll see more deck lists from me, more videos from me in the future, remember to leave a like on this video and consider subscribing to the channel down below. Also, I have a whole bunch of videos planned around the latest box coming out, including your Altar Guys, maybe some Hero, your Paleozoic, basically a whole bunch of stuff. I also have, of course, the live twin, which I've already made that video, so they'll be coming out a few hours after this one. So if you want to see any of that stuff, remember to leave a like on the video and consider subscribing to the channel down below so you don't miss out on any of that content. Alright, let's jump to this deck list. Alright, so what exactly is different about this deck list compared to the video I posted only a couple of days ago? Well, basically, this deck list now became a Chaos Max Turbo deck list. Before it was sort of just summoning a bunch of stuff, not really making full use of the skill, but now we've got Abyss Dragon, and with Abyss Dragon comes extremely easy searching for the Chaos Max Dragon, which comes with the skill, of course. For you guys that have been living under a rock and actually don't know what the skill does yet, basically what the skill does is it allows you to normal summon your Blue Eyes White Dragon monsters without tribute, first of all, which is great because it means your hands don't brick as often, despite forcing you to play 9 Blue Eyes monsters, so already off to a good start. Then, once per draw, you can send 2 Blue Eyes monsters, one from your hand to the graveyard and one from your deck to the graveyard, to then add 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon to your hand or 1 Monster Reborn from your deck to your hand, and place 1 Polymerization from outside of your deck to the bottom of the deck. If you activate this skill on turn 2 or later, you can also place 1 Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon and 1 Chaos Form at the bottom of your deck, which is extremely useful, because you're placing a Chaos Max at the bottom of your deck. You can then use your Monster Reborn to summon back the Blue Eyes Abyss Dragon you would have sent to the graveyard via your skill from your deck or from your hand, summon this thing back to the field. This thing on summon can immediately search for a Chaos Form, which will also be in your deck from the skill, and of course we've got your Melody, discard a card, search for your Chaos Max, and you just slam him on the field. And Chaos Max is just... he is going to kill your opponent. Basically, he's a 4000 attack monster that has double piercing damage, and he's untargetable and indestructible via card effects. So if your opponent has anything on the field that's even slightly in defense position, they're going to take a buttload of damage. This card, it's an insane boss monster and definitely makes this deck list feel a whole lot more fun compared to the old variants of it. Just one more thing I wanted to mention before we move into the gameplay. Because the skill has this kind of annoying requirement where if you go first, you can't use your skill or it won't put the Chaos Max in your deck list, I made it so this deck list was more skewed towards getting a hold of that Chaos Max Dragon, meaning I'm playing a whole bunch of skip turn cards. Things like your Hallowed Life Barriers, your Heat Waves, things that just skip the turn 1 so your opponent just can't kill you, so when the turn passes back to you, you can use that skill and you'll have the Chaos Max in your deck list. this video just wouldn't be as fun if I wasn't summoning Chaos Max Dragon a billion times, so that's what I skew the deck list towards. If you wanted to build this deck list yourself, you don't have to do that at all. This deck list does not rely on Chaos Max Dragon at all. You should know that if you watched my video the other day where I was just playing this deck without the Chaos Max part of the skill, and it was slamming people. So if you wanted to build this deck list more focused on having maybe more access to a better turn 1, things like summoning out the Spirit Dragon turn 1, you can do that too. It's just you can cut these cards for things like more tuners, like more effect veilers or a couple of stones or something. But in general, because I wanted to make this more of a highlight reel of me summoning Chaos Max Dragon and slamming my opponent, I made sure I was playing cards that skip turn 1, so I can sort of guarantee that I'll get a lot of replays where, even if I do go first, I can skip the turn and I'll still be able to use my skill. Alright guys, that's enough of me talking. Let's get into some gameplay showcasing what exactly this deck list can do. Alright, so as you can see from this match history, this deck list performed pretty goddamn well, considering I won 9 out of 10 games I played with it, with the only loss being an absolute bullshit loss. My opponent opened triple back row, one of which being a Mirror Force. I removed one back row, I played through the other one, then swung into the Mirror Force and yeah, got obliterated. So a little bit unfortunate that one, but to be fair, I think overall I probably overperformed a bit with this deck list. I think if I played another like 50 games or something with this, I'll probably only end up with like a 60-ish% win rate or 65%. I played so many other variations of this deck list and all of them were sort of closer to that. This is just the only one that overperformed extraordinarily. To be fair, I think a lot of the reason this deck list might struggle a little bit on ladder at the moment is its going first play is pretty good against anything that isn't Blue Eyes. If you come across a mirror match with Blue Eyes, going first, you just don't really have anything you can do. You can't set up your Spirit of Light or whatever to try to negate graveyard effects or swap it out, because it'll just get removed by his fusion monster or by Chaos Max or something. But against other art types, it feels pretty good, so I don't know. That's why I've got a lot of skip cards in here, the sort of skip turn 1 cards, because otherwise the mirror match is just absolutely abysmal if you roll the coin flip wrong. I'm very curious how this deck list will do in tournament play though. So I think if a lot of Blue Eyes decks sort of go away, this deck will definitely feel a little bit better. And I think in a tournament setting, there's probably going to be less Blue Eyes around, so I have to wait and see. Anyway, so this one my opponent activated a Sage. I'm going to negate that because like I said, Blue Eyes going first, it can't really do a whole lot. If I get rid of their Veiler, they literally can't do anything. So I'm just going to remove his Veiler and then the chance of him being able to survive the turn is pretty goddamn low. So I'm just like, yeah, alright. Just stop him getting that Veiler so he can't negate my fusion monster and negate me trying to get hold of my Chaos Max, and we're good to go. Alright, so we're going to summon out the Spirit Dragon, which does absolutely nothing against my deck, so we're good to go. Alright, Dimension of course, sending the guard to the graveyard so I can revive it. Reviving the Abyss then gives me a search, grabbing the Chaos Form. Now I can use the Melody to search for 2 dragons, including of course the Chaos Max. Revealing the Blue Eyes in hand to summon out the alternative. Of course, activating the Chaos Form to summon out the Chaos Max Dragon. And then I completely misplay here. So I summon out my Blue Eyes White Dragon, of course. Then I really did not want to use this card's effect because I wanted this thing to be able to attack. So I was like, oh, I'm not going to use it. Just completely thinking this back row is just absolutely nothing at this point. Activating my Abyss Dragon to buff my entire field. He's of course going to negate that. I could have prevented this by just popping this card, but then I was, yeah, like I said, I was kind of worried this thing, I wanted this thing to be able to attack, so. But yeah, completely misplayed here because of course, his back row was Oasis to revive the dragon, so I can't actually beat over the defense. Thankfully, he sort of bricked anyway, but yeah, if that was played correctly by anyone with a brain cell, they would just lethal on the previous turn, so. Or at least remove his monster on the previous turn. Alright, next up. Alright, so this guy was playing, I think, VLS? A lot of these replays I happen to go second to. I didn't actually have to use the going first skip cards all that often because I just got a bit lucky with the coin tosses as well, which I think is also going to explain why the win rate was so high. This guy is set to back row, didn't even want to go for any BLSs apparently. So Monster Reborn going to be reviving my monster, of course. He's going to Warning Pointer, that's completely fine. I've got a Sage in hand. And this deck list doesn't actually need the Chaos Max to lethal all the time, it just needs to be able to play through everything your opponent's got and just beat stick them to death. Book of Moons me, don't care, gonna use my Melody, searching for my 2 cards, and those 2 cards are already going to be potentially lethal. I've seen this animation so many times now, from watching just a billion replays yesterday and the replays today as well. Alright, so now the alternative. We summon out the Blue Eyes. This is definitely the best Blue Eyes art, it's undeniable, this one's actually the best. Doesn't look too good in thumbnails though, weirdly enough. Alright, Abyss Dragon buffing the whole field, and he has a fucking Kiteroid? Like, of course. If he had a Karibo, he's dead, but of course, it's a Kairoid. Anyway. On to replay number 3. Yes, you can probably see already just by watching the sort of weaknesses this deck list sort of faces, where it's just sort of Ooga Booga, try to OTK your opponent, and if they survive it, you don't really have anything else to sort of defend yourself. To be fair, your Chaos Max is untargetable and indestructible, which is pretty good, but it's not indestructible to card effects. It can be beaten over, and there's plenty of other ways to just non-target remove it as well. Oh, this poor guy. This guy set up his Bailings, grabbed his Sanctuary. Oh, this poor guy. We opened our one-off effect Veiler. Actually bullying opening the one-off. Now he's going to summon the Sunlight Wolf. I'm now going to effect Veiler. Once he summons out the second one, so he can't use the Revive effect to try to add stuff back and get any resources. Not letting him have any of his graveyard effects back. And from here, he is so dead, because we opened Melody. I do want to, just let you guys know, this deck list can win without opening Melody, like, 100% it can easily. It's just Melody leads to the Chaos Max replays, and those are the ones I wanted to show off. But it can win without opening Melody. Just watch the replays I showed yesterday's video, where we didn't even play that many copies of Melody. Melody is just a better way to do it, because if you want to play more Chaos Max way, obviously. Which is kind of what I want for the YouTube highlights, so... Alright, sending my dude to the field, summoning out, of course, the Blue Eyes with the best artwork. And yeah, we have Piercing on field, so he's just dead. I could even have buffed that field to be even bigger. Got a 5,000 attack monster doing piercing. Double piercing. Disgusting. Alright. On to So Kawaii. Oh yeah, this guy. This guy set up, I think it was like an Abyss Dweller and a Beatrice turn 1 or something. Yeah, I don't know what I was looking at here.
Duel.
To be fair, it nearly kept him alive, so props to him for that one. Alright, Raging Pendulum going to be, of course, digging some shit in the extra deck. We've seen this all before, all this previous old meta stuff. Having a Dark Magician, because apparently he's running Dark Magician. Alright, makes a Beatrice. These two make an Abyss Dweller. And sends a copy of this Stego Cyber to the graveyard. Thankfully the Stego Cyber isn't actually much of a problem. So he's Monster Reborn, summoning out my Abyss. Abyss giving me my Search. He's going to Abyss Dweller me, which doesn't really matter, just means this thing won't be able to use the attack boost. Which is a little bit annoying to be fair. Swap it over for a Spirit of Light so I can get rid of his Pendulum Scale, so if he does survive, he's going to have a bit of a tough time unless he gets a hold of another Pendulum Scale somehow. Of course, summoning out my alternative White Dragon, this time not the high rarity one. Alright, targeting his Lady of Eternal to see if he's got any other sneaky things in the graveyard, which he actually had nothing left apparently. This guy's literally just playing Beatrice to send the Stego Cyber, which is odd, but anyway. Each their own, of course. These two making the fusion, this one being able to Chaos Form, summon out my Chaos Max. Battle phase, threatening piercing, he's going to prevent it. Doesn't matter because he's only got 2400 defense, so he's Alright, final replay. This is one where I actually did go first. I tried to make sure I got at least one replay where I showed off going first. The going first replays aren't all that exciting because they're just sort of activate, skip, cut, skip, turn card. Skip, turn. It's either you're setting up Spirit Dragon to then summon out the Synchro to then basically make it so your opponent can't really beat over you very easily, or you just activate like a Hallowed Life Barrier and your opponent's like, oh well, cool. Oh, this was actually a very unlucky hand. It got opening 2 Blue Eyes when you have 2 discards is very scary, because if you have to discard the 3rd Blue Eyes, your alternatives all of a sudden become a lot weaker. There's no stones in this list, so I can't even summon the alternatives. That was a very unlucky hand, actually. Luckily we got the this card, and when we drew Monster Reborn, the card you normally search for. Oh god. Meaning now we have to discard our final card, which is Blue Eyes. Yeah, maybe I should have played this in a way where I didn't actually go for Chaos Max, try to summon out a bunch of Blue Eyes instead and buff the field. If that was even doable this hand, I don't know. Yeah, so this is such an awkward hand, I couldn't summon any alternatives. Just sort of beat over his stuff and pass and just pray he can't kill me. Couldn't even use the buff effect because I wanted this thing on the field so I didn't take as much damage if he did manage to remove both. And thankfully he's playing some weird stuff. It's already weird that he's playing Joey, so... Tries to target, can't target. Makes a Cypher Dragon. Makes a Galaxy. And he sat here for a good while posturing whether or not he could do this. He sat here for a while and then he realized, oh, he can't. And from here, even though I can't summon anything in my hand, he kills himself, so... Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's replays. Hope you guys enjoyed them. If you want to like, subscribe, with that kind of stuff. Got a billion more videos planned on the latest box coming out, so if you want to see any of those videos, make sure to like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you see you in the next one. Laters.
Hey, big brother, can I watch SpongeBob? Shut up, Mokuba. I'm busy flagging YouTube videos to compensate for the fact that I have an extremely small penis. Oh.